Hello everyone, it's me Parlay sir, and today we are going to read the poem named The Schoolboy, written by William Blake. Okay, so let us come to the introduction of the poet. William Blake was an English poet, painter, and printmaker. He was a romantic poet. He wrote some famous poems like The Lamb, The Tiger, A Poison Tree, etc. He was born on 28th November 1757 and died on 12th August 1827. Okay, so this was the introduction of the poem. Now, uh, introduction of the poet. Now come to the introduction of the poem. Okay, the schoolboy. The schoolboy is in the poem is not an happy child. While what make him unhappy? Why does he compare himself to a bird that live in a cage or a plant that withers when it should blossoms? So from the very beginning, the child is we can clearly see that the child is not happy. So why is unhappy? So actually he compares himself to a bird that live in a cage or a plant that withers when it blossoms. So he just compare himself that to a bird who is just imprisoned in cage, and a plant that withers when it should blossom, and a plant that withers when it should blossom means a plant which is not able to blossom itself. So this is the introduction. So this is the pathetic condition of the poem of the schoolboy, and out of this he wrote this uh, excellent poem. Okay, first of all, there are one, two, three, four, five. There are five stanzas. Okay, sorry, there are six stanzas, right? So from the first stanza, we can come to know that I love to rise in a summer morn when the birds sing on every tree, the distant huntsman's wind his horn, and the skylar sings with me. Oh, what sweet company! The above lines has been taken from William Blake's poet, The Schoolboy. Actually, the poet here is sharing the details about his little boy's joys. Okay, actually, the writer William Blake is sharing or depicting the details about the little boy. Okay, so now what does it mean? In the opening stanza, the speaker, the little boy, shares his delight on waking up to see a summer morning. He admires the pleasant sound of birds and singing on the tree, and the huntsman who is in the distance blow his horn or clarion. He finds the atmosphere so pleasing that he thinks that the skylarks sing with him. He finds the company of all these elements of nature very soothing. Okay, so this was the explanation of the first stanza. Okay, so here there is a name of a bird, that is skylark. So skylarks actually is a European bird that sings while flying. Okay, so this is the meaning of the word skylark. Actually, the skylark is a bird. Bird means a European bird. Okay. Now, but to go to school in a summer morn, oh, it drives all the joy away. Under a cruel eye outworn, the little ones spend the day in shying and dismay. Now, what is that? So this stanza has been taken from the schoolboy. Okay, here the poet highlights how the boy detests going to school. How does he dislike the going to school? Here the poet states that he is not likes to go to the school. Okay, in this stanza actually the boy hated going to school on such pleasant summer morning. It deprived him all joys. He hated spending his day under the supervision of a strict teacher. The boy is forced to do what the teacher expects him to do. He, on the other hand, wanted to enjoy the gaiety of a summer morning, or the beauty of a summer morning, or the atmosphere that is seen in the summer morning. Okay, so it is clear from the explanation that the boy is not able, or is not wanting to just to be imprisoned in the school. He just wanted to avoid the school, the teacher. Actually, he just wanted to avoid the teacher, and he just wanted to enjoy his freedom. He just wanted to enjoy the summer morning. Okay, now here a line called autumn. Autumn means out of date. Okay, autumn means out of date. Then ah then at times I drooping sit and spend many an anxious hour. Nor in my book can I take delight, nor sit in learning's power. Withdraw with the dreary shower. So this is the third stanza. Here the poet in this stanza shows how the boys get frustrated by the boring teaching methods adopted in the school. Somehow all the students in your school, or any other school, is so much get bored when a boring lecture or a boring teaching method is used. So this boy, or this school boy, also faces the same thing, right? Now what is that? Then at times I drooping sit and spend many an anxious hour. Here the boy shares with the reader his weariness. He is tired and frustrated to the core. He is very much frustrated from the core of his heart. Okay, he is tired and frustrated from the core of his heart. He spends his hours at school in the great restlessness and anxiety. Anxiety means whenever you are getting too much tension, you are getting too much tension, and when you are getting too much tensed, it is called anxiety. He takes no delight in this lesson. He does not like this lesson actually. Okay, and he does not like the study at all. There was nothing refreshing about going to school and learning something new, because everything was taught in an extremely dull way. So the teaching method was very dull, and he has no interest in this teaching format or the school. The boy therefore draws a certain correlation between learning hours and dreary showers. Here, the boy draws a correlation between learning hour and dreary shower. Okay. Here drooping means baggy, ढीला, जिसे बोलते हैं ढीला, right? And bower means pleasant area with trees. Pleasant area with trees means kunj. If I say in Hindi, it's called kunj. And if I say the dreary shower, dreary means boring and uninteresting. Okay, so dreary means boring and uninteresting. So this was the explanation of the third stanza. Now come to the fourth stanza, that is, how can the bird that is born for joy sit in a cage and sing? How can a child, when fears annoy, but droop his tender wing and forget his youthful spring? So in this stanza, actually, here the poet affirms the boy's desire for freedom. What is that? The boy draws the imagery of a bird. A bird is born to be joyous and spread happiness through his singing. But this he could do only if he is free and not caged. Similarly, a young child in his childhood is learning to spread his wings or becoming conscious of the world around him. The constant fear or threat of someone could ruin his childhood, just like caged bird. He would neither then know how to be happy nor how to sing. So what is the actual meaning of the stanza is that just like a bird, he is caged. When the bird is caged, he is not able to do the things, all the things. He is not free. He does not have the freedom. But similarly, when the child is also imprisoned actually, because the child is not allowed to do all the things in his way. He is not allowed actually. He is just caged by the school teacher or the parents or something else. So he is just he is of the opinion that I do not like I do not like the actually the method of teaching and the school system and the all the reading writing system, and the poet and the little boy, and little boy means the school boy, actually wanted to enjoy all the things at his own, right? So and in this and in this stanza there is a word called tender. Tender means soft and sensitive. Okay, tender means soft and sensitive. By droop his tender wing and forget his youthful spring means in these two lines, actually in these two lines, the poet he had tried to say that a bird, if a bird is caged or imprisoned at the earlier stage, he just forget how to fly. Okay, how to fly away. Just like that, if a child is imprisoned or caged, the child is also will get the same thing, and he would not able to do all the things, and he will be mentally depressed, frustrated, everything, right? Now move on to the next stanza, that is, oh father and mother, if birds are nipped and blossom blown away, and if the tender plants are stripped of their joy in the springing day by sorrow and care's dismay, how shall the summer arise in joy or summer fruits appear? Now in the last two stanza, what is that? The poet in this line shows that the boy addressing his parents. Actually, he is now, oh father and mother. So the boy is addressing his parents. In this stanza, the boy addresses his parents. He tries to explain to them that if birds were nipped, then no one would have ever known the beauty and fragrance that a flower spread. Actually, what does it mean? It means that अगर कोई भी चीज़ को उसका जो अंकुरित होने से पहले ही उसको अगर दबा दिया जाए, उसको ख़त्म कर दिया जाए, तो उनका जो फ्रेगरेंस है बाद में जाके वो नहीं मिलेगा. if the birds are nipped at the very beginning, then no one able to know how will the flower or how will the things will grow and give fragrance. Okay, if the tender plants are stripped of their joy in the springing day by sorrow and care's dismay, similarly, if plants were destroyed and when they were still tender, spring would never be happy occasion. So anything that is obstructed from its growth in a very tender age is ruined for a lifetime. Think for a second that you were just already a teenager and you were like to do all the things, but if someone just dominates you and take all of your joy from you, how would you feel? Then you will be not able to do all the things in the near future, because all the capabilities, all the good things are just cut down. All the things are being just washed away. So how would you feel? You feel nothing. So you have the talent, you have all the things, but if all the parents, all the relatives, all the neighbors just give you the pressure, and all the teachers also, that yes, this is study time, this is the study time, the study hour, then it will be very difficult actually for you to do all the things. So a child may be given the enough exposure actually to just do at or her own way, to behave like her own way. So this is the actually the message of the poem, that is, no one should dominance no one should be dominated in the earlier age. They should given a free pass, or think that yes, they could express himself or herself, right? Now, how shall the summer arises in joy, or the summer fruits appear? From the last stanza, actually, the final couplet, this is called couplet. The last two, actually, the last two line is called couplet. Okay, couplet, couplet. This final couplet is an extension of that point that the poet has made the previous stanza. If everything was destroyed before his time, birds would not bloom into flowers, plants would not be alive to give ripe fruits, spring or summer would not be associated with plenitude of joy and joy. Just like elements in our natural surroundings require the right atmosphere for growth, and then they become a thing of beauty, delivering something sweet and pleasant. Similarly, a child requires the right kind of mixture of love, care, affection, and freedom to become a pleasant and soothing person. Right? So this is the explanation of the poem, of the poem. So I hope all of you understand this poem. Okay. So this is for you. Thank you very much.